Ladies and gentlemen, I am alongside one of the Renegade Wrestling Alliance's most cerebral individuals in Crimson Al-Khemia. And Crimson, I know you're not one for words, but I do have a question I have to ask. What is it about Chris Sterling that makes you target him? Why are you antagonizing the formerly known Revelation?
Well, Mr. Rossi, let me give you a question right back. Let's talk about the history of Christopher Sterling. When he was the Revelation, Christopher Sterling, was he not the Triple Crown champion?
Yes, he was, as a matter of fact.
And now he's not. Correct?
Correct.
And he's no longer the Revelation, correct?
This is true.
And let's look at recent history with him trying to hold a tag team together. Did that work?
No, but in his defense, he wasn't...
No. I don't believe in this whole Tad White nonsense or the babyface Christopher Sterling. Think of this as not about revenge, not about envy at all, not in the slightest. What this is a personal favor from me to the RWA. See, Chris Sterling, he's just boring. He is weak. He is not championship material. He's not even tag team material. He shouldn't even be in this ring anymore. But as a service to the Renegade Wrestling Alliance, being the generous man that the Pharaoh Fear is, I'm going to knock the Revelation back into him.
Stern words from a dark man himself. Folks, I can't wait to see this pan out. We're going to kick it off to the ringside with more chop shop action. This next contest is also scheduled for one fall and has a 20-minute time limit. Introducing first comes a man who weighed in this morning at 147 pounds. Hailing from the haunted dunes of Egypt, he is the Pharaoh of Fears, Crimson Al-Khemia.
Now I wondered to myself, was Bobby Rossi here early this morning weighing everybody? I'll have to ask him when he gets back to the booth. Nonetheless, action continues here at RWA Hype, and this match has been months and months in the making between Crimson and his mind games and damn well doing what he pleases as far as being here or not being here. Finally got this match in the ring. Been as I said, mind games for quite some time, actually since November. I think ultimately what Crimson Al-Khemia is looking to do here is bring out the old Chris Sterling, not Tad White, but the Revelation, the man with the killer instinct, so to speak.
And introducing his opponent. This morning he weighed in at 227 pounds and is hailing from Providence, Rhode Island. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Chris Sterling!
I have to talk to Bobby Rossi. I'm not one to dog somebody, but I'm going to have to speak with him. I think his scale may be broken. There he is, the man formerly known as Revelation, just going by Chris Sterling here. He's got his game face on. High-fiving members of our studio audience. Rossi, come here. Put the headset on. Did you say 220 pounds?
227 to be exact, yes.
Whoa. And Crimson looking to jumpstart this one rather fast, but he's finding himself in quite the predicament here. Oh! With authority. I was basically just saying maybe you want to recalibrate your scale. I don't know what you've been weighing on it. I know we're here in Oneyville, and we know how it gets down.
The supplies are definitely limited, to say the least, and the scale looked as if it's seen better days. So there's a chance it needs a recalibration. But nonetheless, you got Sterling coming in here at a significant weight advantage. We're going to see if that comes into play here up against Crimson Al-Khemia.
Now, is there any truth to the rumor that T Phoenix was weighed this morning and it said one person at a time?
I'm not at liberty to discuss that, seeing as how T Phoenix is still in the building. but he is definitely the largest man on the roster without a doubt, without a shadow of a doubt.
Well, I believe there is a very large shadow.
The man has very large shoes that he fills, to say the least.
Very creative escape there by Crimson Al-Khemia, and he's going to need to do this to maybe stay 1 step ahead of Chris Sterling.
Well, you're going back into the cerebral assailant here. I mean, this is what he does. He will grind you down to the mat. I mean, he doesn't have, the strength factor, but he has literally chopped down the giant sequoia known as Chris Sterling. He's not a small man by any means.
Sequoia, is that a type of car?
Yes.
Chevy makes it, right?
Toyota, I believe.
Oh, okay.
And it's funny you make that analogy. Chris Sterling is very much a ring mechanic, if you will. Most people in our studio audience says he has trouble connecting with those in the crowd, and I think it's a matter of focus. The guy is simply focused on being a tactical wrestler, on being a technician. Sadly, he's not too aware of his ring position right there, backing up Crimson into the ropes.
Well, you do make a very excellent observation there. That's what I was looking for.
It's tough to find the right words when you've got your face down in a bottle of E&J.
Yeah, now, let's not call each other out here. Sterling firing in some forearm type shots. Now he's trying to incorporate the crowd here and delivers a nice overhand chop. In this era of sports entertainment, and no, we here in the RWA tend to focus on the wrestling, but we have been accustomed to and had sports entertainment shoved down our throats, as you see Sterling just tossing Crimson and Crimson taking a powder outside the ring. But the point I'm trying to make is he's making the effort, but he's very much the old school type of wrestler, where he's just getting in there and it's all about the wrestling.
I think a bit of that is lacking, or what you find on TV, especially on the national companies, if you will. But definitely here in the RWA, we do our best to not only honor the tradition of professional wrestling, but hey, let's not kid ourselves. This is an event, and we do have a live audience here. We are here to get more butts in the seats.
And when there's more butts in the seats, there's more money to be made for charities, as we've done time after time again, whether it be the Autism Project, Special Olympics, Toys for Tots, you name it.
Or even the Station Memorial Foundation, as will be hosting this year's Dynasty in their benefit as well. It's a little bit we could do to serve the community. I feel as though, since we are very much the community, we got to do our best to stand by it. And none of us here are rich, none of us here are driving Benzes, but hey, we put our bodies on the line to raise a few bucks. Why not? And speaking of bodies on the line, it looks as if Crimson is trying to take the legs out from underneath Sterling. Definitely a smart move. If you don't have your legs, you're not going to have your leverage.
There was moments ago when Sterling was coming in on the ring apron. Crimson Al-Khemia kicked out one of his legs, therefore the knee hitting the top of the apron, and there's really no love, no give out there. That's just steel and boards and very thin layer of padding.
Crimson had mentioned earlier that he's trying to bring the best, or maybe even the worst, out of Chris Sterling, trying to turn him into that beast that we all know him as. And I'm not sure if taking the legs out from underneath him is gonna wake up the beast within or put him to sleep.
Well, it may be his ultimate undoing. That being Sterling's undoing, having his legs taken out from him. But maybe in the process, Crimson can make Sterling realize that he's gone soft. He doesn't have that killer instinct that he once was. The same killer instinct that made him one of the longest running Triple Crown champions in our history, next to Mike Montero.
Point well taken, point well observed, Crimson. Just a relentless attack by the cat here. He's not letting up. Probably one of our more detailed submission specialists here at the Renegade Wrestling Alliance. Crimson is by no stretch an old school dude, if you will. He's definitely one of the new school, but a lot of old school tactics.
He's got that modified, he looks like a modified figure four. And Sterling a long way away from the ropes here. He's inching and crawling and clawing.
Reach for it. Come on, Sterling. There it is. Come on.
Throughout his career, Sterling not one to give up easily. Matter of fact, I could probably count on one hand the number of times he's submitted or tapped out.
All right, come on, Crimson. Let's go. Moshe, get assertive, will you? Even the crowd's telling Moshe to do something. Sitting there counting. Break the hold. This is not looking good for Sterling. I wish I were watching a different match. He's honestly one of my favorites.
Utilizing the ropes here to try to get himself back on his feet. Crimson stalking. I think he was going for that trademark crook and flail.
Now you see the power coming into play. I mean, look at the arms on Chris Sterling. Again, this is not a small man. If he comes through with an overhead club, I mean, he can honestly, put your lights out. I would not want to be on the receiving end of one of those. As he hobbles towards Crimson, cornering him. I hate to say it, Chris, but Crimson's into pain for pleasure. You're going to have to dish out a little bit more than that, pal.
He caught him here coming in. Got him in a bear hug, limping to the center of the ring.
Oh, goodness. Yes, beautiful overhead belly to belly.
He said he's going for one more. I don't know, perhaps maybe a cover at this point. Maybe the best bet, but beats Crimson coming up and double underhook. Over rotates Crimson Al-Khemia. The lighter frame of Crimson and making that possible.
We've got a cover here, Clem. 1, 2. Crimson taking that extra second to get his wits and his air about him.
Sterling's has exhausted so much energy here. You see, he couldn't even really make a good enough cover there and put the majority of his body weight on top of Crimson. It may have been a different story.
Rallying behind Sterling.
Oh, Crimson always crafty, suckered Sterling in right there. Taking the knee out once again. And what's he have in mind here? Trying to maneuver the massive frame of Sterling to no avail.
Eats a good amount of buckle.
Could be measuring him for that crack shot. Sterling trying to get in a position. Hey, he didn't get all of that. That was, I guess, a modified version of the crack shot.
Nothing fancy about it. I mean, the guy's just giving it what he's got left, and you can clearly see him struggling just to maneuver around the ring.
Maybe perhaps one more time here. Nope. Oh, look at that. He dropped the injured leg right across the knee.
Knee breaker. And here we go. One more time. Crimson just wrenching it in.
Again, quite a ways away from the ring ropes to cause a break here. Sterling's going to have to scratch and claw one more time. He may want to consider just throwing the towel in on this one and preserving himself for future matches here. I guarantee you Crimson won't stop until that leg is broken.
You may want to consider laying off the red meat for a while. Just saying. Come on, Sterling.
Surge
Reach
of
for those
energy.
ropes.
He's trying. He's almost there. I think he may have it. Fingertips are touching. Oh my goodness, he's He's given up. Crimson Al-Khemia victorious here. After months of waiting, you see the results. Crimson proving why he is one of the more dangerous people here in the RWA. We gotta wonder what's gonna happen to Chris Sterling. What is his mindset after this loss? I'm sure in the weeks to come we will find out what exactly is on the mind of Chris Sterling and where he will go from here. He's asking if he's done yet, and he just spat on him. Disgusting. I have a good authority. My friend Bobby Rossi has a pre-recorded conversation between him and our co-director of competition, Liz B. We're going to go to that right now.